Hi, and thank you for tuning in again to our second part of choosing the right fin. My name is Christopher Gonzalez, and I am the owner of Rubio Surfboards. And if you want to check out more of our stuff, feel free to check out rubiosurfboards.com or rubiosurfboards.org, where we have all the information that you need on choosing the right fin and choosing the board. We make stand-up paddle boards to retro shortboards. So come over and check us out. So on our second part, kind of to recap, we talked about the rake, we talked about the base, we talked about the height of the fin, and what does that all pretty much do in our first part. So you can just check out on our video history and click on part one to get kind of recapped. So today I'm going to be talking about a little bit more of of the of the more advanced portion of the fin. Now all these fins have, like I said, the base, which is this part to this part, the base of the fin, okay? The depth of the fin or the height, which is from the bottom, from the box, all the way straight to the top, okay? Then you have the area of the fin, which is the overall area of the fin, which is this area, and the sweep as well, okay? So you have everything combined is your area. Pretty much it's your base, your depth, the fin of the fin contributes to the overall area of the fin. Your pretty much your fin area needs to be suited to hold the rider on the wave, but loose enough to turn with control. Okay. Um, all these fins come in small, medium, and larges. Uh, some fins uh, do not, some specific fins do not, but most of the manufacturers do have at least three sizes for these fins. So that's the area, and you got your sweep or your rake of your actual fin, okay, which is it refers to how far the fin is angled backwards, and the further your fin is swept backwards, the longer or more rounded your turns will be, and the straighter the fin, you will tend to pivot more, okay. So let's go to something that's a little bit more different. Okay, every fin or every fin box will have a cant angle, and the cant angle of the fin is how much your fin is leading to one side. Okay, so let's say if this is the surfboard right on the top, right here, I'm gonna place it right in front of the screen. Let me see if I can put it next to my white shirt here. If it's actually placed right in front of the screen on the board, if it's canted out a little bit to the side of the thing, or if I go this way, this would be your cant. Okay. Now certain boxes has a certain like FCS boxes or let me see if I can remember. I'm sorry, I'm not in the shop right now, so I don't have the actual manual with me. But I only use right now Future Fins and FCS. But several of these boxes actually do have a cant angle already placed on it, and FCS does have a certain angle um, placed on the fin. So let's just say for right now, for the purpose, some of these fins will have like a, let's say, a 5 degrees or certain degrees of cant to these to their set. This will pretty much allow more of a grip, um, depending on the size, and it's pretty much how far your fin is really leading to the outside. Now I can't really tell you what it's really gonna do because I don't know what type of rails you have on your board. Everything kind of combines into one. You can think of your fin as the engine of your board. You can have the best, most aerodynamic car, but if you have a shitty engine in it, it ain't going anywhere. Okay? So kind of think about it like this. And if you have a really not an aerodynamic, and you have a shitty car, and you have a great engine in it, it's kind of defeating the purpose. And then you have your toe angle, which is the angle of the fin, which is parallel to the stringer. Okay? So this is actually will go parallel to the stringer, which is your toe angle. Okay? Um, because there's an actual like 0 degree to the toe angle of the board, which is set by the shaper and it cannot be changed. The cant of your fin can always be changed depending on the style of fin that you're using. Okay. It's kind of a little bit more difficult to understand, but once you see your surfboard and you see a couple of designs and stuff like that, you'll get it right away. The foil is just like the airplane of a wing. All these surfboard fins are pretty much like airplanes of a wing. If you actually see something like this, I'm gonna try to see if I put it next to my white shirt here. You can kind of see that it is kind of like a nice little rounded off area, very nice and rounded off. You can just check even your fin, okay? There's several different foils, and this is just a standardized foil, okay, which is a traditional center, or or the back fins are kind of foiled on both ends, uh, on the outside, and usually flat on the inside. But there's been, like a lot of change and a lot of development, which is like a slide foil on the outside of the fin, and you know, it's all about the aerodynamics or the hydrodynamics. I'm sorry, the hydrodynamics of the actual fin and how it actually flows through the water. These guys actually test these fins rigorously before they go out. And I'm just showing you futures, but FCS also does it very well, and many other companies also do a hell of a lot of testing before their fins go out, and so do we. Um, and the last thing would be the flex, and every actual fin will actually flex back and forth, even if it's just a little bit. It's gonna flex, okay? And the stiffer the fin, it's more drive. The faster your fin's gonna go, the more drive you're gonna have to pull through those hard turns, hard hits. The softer your fin, the more forgiving, and you're not gonna be having that much drive on a softer fin. That's why you see some of those Protect fins that have like those little rubbery edges. They're great for safety, but they're not great for a lot of drive and a lot of push. Now, don't get me wrong, I surf a Protect fin as well at sometimes when I'm surfing a more crowded beach, and I love it and I enjoy it. And there's times where I would prefer it, but I like sticking to traditional fiberglass, or going to more of a lighter material. So kind of like I kind of went through a couple of the ways that fins are actually made. You have your fiberglass fins, which is, you know your standardized fin, layered glass fins, which is a solid pattern similar to glass-on fins, and generally the fins are made will have a stiffer base, and depending on the template or the design, you can tell here how about the foil. It gets really nice and really nice and thin. So really thick foil around the edge makes it real nice hydrodynamic. Makes the water flow really nice through this, and without having a lot of drag. Now you have the resin transfer molded fin, which is a more high tech way of making a fin. It usually involves you know uh, honeycomb, which will reduce the weight, which is pretty cool. Then you have um, carbon fiber and all that other stuff. One thing that's really cool is when we first started making fins and surfboards, I figured out um, my fins would hum or whistle, which was pretty cool. Um, and I was freaking out because I didn't know what it actually was. And this was several years ago when I first started shaping, and the humming is actually due to uh, captivation, which occurs occurs with like these low pressure bubbles in the water begin to collapse and create tiny shock waves, which produce that actual sound. I mean, now we figured out that if we actually sand the sides of the fins, um, several passes of a real thin sandpaper along the trailing edge. I think which this would be your trailing edge. Okay, it kind of fixed that humming sounds, but I thought it was kind of cool because kind of distinguishes you from the rest of the crowd. So to leave you off on a last note, kind of um, experiment. Try different things. There's no general rule. There's no there's no selection. There's nothing. Experiment. Try everything. Try a bunch of fins. Try 10 fins. Try different fins on your side fins and your center fin. Um, If your board is feeling too stiff, try smaller fins with less sweep and more flex. If your board is feeling too loose and lacks drive, try a bigger set of fins with more of a sweep. Generally, a lighter person will require less area of a fin. A larger person will require more area. If your board has a wider tail, like I said on the first one, um, you're gonna have to have a larger fin, more fin area, not necessarily larger, but more fin area. And if you're using a smaller board and bigger, powerful waves, you might want to use a larger fin with more sweep. Um, Again, just experiment and try it out. And please go check us out. This is our second part. I don't think I'm gonna do a third part, even though there's a bunch more stuff that we can talk about. But I kind of like covered almost 80% of the fins. The rest is just going out and doing your research and writing them. Uh, and and definitely do some research. I know fins are expensive. Find them on eBay or Amazon, wherever you can, or try to borrow some from your friends. Again, my name is Christopher Gonzalez, and thank you so much for checking this out. And check out RubioSurfboards.com and check out RubioSurfboards.org for our latest kind of our science section, you can say. And email us, call me, whatever the case is. Any questions that you may have, again, check out RubioSurfboards.com. And thank you so much, and have a great night. And I'll be seeing you out on the water. Keep your eyes on the horizon, and go waves. Take care.